7819, identify.
819, we're discontinued. Still westbound of Broadway, coming up.
Hi, I'm Paul Vunak. Welcome to Law Enforcement Tactics. What you're about to see here is a 5-day seminar for tactical instructors representing over 15 different police departments. You're going to see training drills, techniques, philosophies. You're going to watch how I train them. And hopefully by you watching this, this will get you a step closer to the door. The program that we're teaching is meant to address every type of force that you're going to meet in the street. We have broken the myriad of types of forces down into 3 levels, level 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 is the assailant as just a drunk, cantankerous individual that's not cooperating with you. And by the way, these are my words. You can use your own words, your vernacular, okay? This is just how I speak. An example might be they don't want to get handcuffed, or you go to a club and you escort them out and they won't let you out, or they don't want to get in the squad car, they don't want to get out of the squad car, or they don't want to get in or out of this jail cell. So with that said, it is not justified for us to hit somebody, strike them, do anything ballistic. This is why we have locks, restraints, and DUMOG, okay? Ryan? So for example, if I want Ryan on the ground, I will lock to put him on the ground. If I want him up here, these restraints are made, we call them come-alongs, to bring somebody from point A to point B. Their body has certain choke points. When you understand these choke points, you can take somebody and move them where you want without hurting them. So the major choke points that we use are about 12 basic locks. And then we go to the DUMOG, which is the arm control, the humerus. Level 2 are destructions. Now, the perpetrator is not just being ornery, but they're actually throwing a blow at us, okay? This blow is not something that we're concerned with our life or death. It could be just a big drunk hillbilly who throws a punch at you. Now, with that said, we have destructions. Destructions hurt the limb that's coming in at you. So for example, if he throws a punch, boom, that's a destruction. If he throws just a good old John Wayne cross, boom, that's a destruction. If he throws a wild swing, we do a little eye flick, and that stops it. When the eye flick comes in, you'll get that reaction, okay, boom. And then you can just take the person, go back to level 1, and move them where you want. So against any kind of punch or any kind of kick, we do destructions. Most of the time, punches destroy, the elbows destroy the punches from the waist up, and the knee destroy anything from the waist down. So if he tries to kick you, boom, the knee takes care of it. If he tries to kick you here, boom, the knee takes care of it. Once you do your destruction, he's hobbling around, then you can move him where you want to move him. This is level 2. Level 3 is your concern for your life. Level 3 would be the same as if you were to draw your weapon and shoot somebody. And an example of that might be, you're in a bar situation, you see 5 or 10 guys coming at you from one angle. There's somebody right here, you need to get out that door, he throws a swing at you, boom, you hit the eyes, you straight blast, boom, you headbutt, you knee, you elbow. So the level 3 we refer to as the RAT system. That's rapid assault tactics. Rapid assault tactics involve the entry, the pressure, and the termination. The entry is interceptions and destructions. The pressure is the straight blast, and the termination of the fight are elbows, knees, and headbutts. What differentiates level 3 from any martial art out there is basically the straight blast. When we get into the straight blast, the perpetrator is now going backwards. When somebody is flailing backwards, they have no means of hurting you. We take away their base, we take away their balance. So this equals our odds. It is an equalizer.
You don't have to be as strong, you don't have to be as big, you don't have to be as quick. This comes from the art of Jeet Kune Do.
Well, my name is Gary Woodruff. I'm with the Frankfurt Police Department, and what we're going to be discussing today is Mr. Paul Vunak's Rapid Assault Tactics system. We had the pleasure to be trained by Paul for a week long here in Frankfurt, Indiana, and we are going to be sharing a lot of the knowledge that he has gained over the years from Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do concept, Filipino martial arts, and just downright nasty street fighting that he has incorporated down into rapid assault tactics. Rapid assault tactics starts off actually in level 3. That's where we started at, and that's what we'll be starting at today for our class. And we will be going through the basics of the rapid assault tactics program, which involves the first part of it involves either an entry or, either an interception or destruction using an entry into a straight blast. The idea is to come down a person's center line and straight blast right through that person, finishing up with a series of headbutts, knees, and elbows, which, as you can tell with my cranium, that means the atomic headbutt is what that means. So that's the basics of what we're going to be going over. And there's also 2 other levels that we get into. Level 1 is for a person, for us in law enforcement, for a person who's just kind of intoxicated, maybe a removal in a bar atmosphere, and we can use locks, restraints, and a system called Jumog, a Filipino wrestling-based art. And that involves using the body's choke points, not necessarily the pressure points that we're used to, but it just gives us another tool to use. Maybe a pressure point doesn't work, and we can go right to the Jumog and go ahead and remove a person from the bar. It also involves using a person's neck, almost like a steering wheel. Steering this way, steering that way. It'll work out great. We'll practice all that. Level 2 involves destruction. Now, what is a destruction? In a civilian-friendly world, destruction. What are you doing? Well, the big move that we learned for the whole week as far as the destruction, the hands up, maybe against the boxer delivering a jab, and just whoop, hand runs right into the elbow. The person's response is just that. And what did you do? What did people see? They saw just the officer defending yourself. That was it. That's all they saw. So that involves level 2. To progress from the 3, we just follow the force continuum that we're all familiar with. Person, maybe a bar removal, guy decides to take a swing at you, you destruct. May not be appropriate to go right into level 3 rapid assault tactics at that point. May not be necessarily appropriate. You might go into a lock, always being remembering of the opposite hand. Maybe he does throw another swing at you. Destruct it. Maybe picks up a bottle at that point. We'll be able to take you from level 1, 2, and 3 and back and have you flow from all of these things. Paul's system is the best in the business, and we think you're really going to enjoy the program.
Okay, so we started here with 1. We shifted up to 2, turned it, went back down to 3, flowed back up to 4, shifted back out to here, went 5, turned it over, 6, 7. From here, you're just going to put this hand on the forearm and disengage a little bit to come back out. At that point, we're going to float back into here, okay? On this lock, make sure that your hand is positioned in the elbow and not down here. If it's down in the shoulder, he can apply just a little bit of strength and counter me and puts me in the lock. So I want to keep him here. From that position, I want you to shift it to the neck, the guillotine, shift over, and come back on the other side, all right? So let's take it one more time. From 1 to 2, to 3, to 4, flow out, 5, come out, 6, 7, I disengage, this is where we were at just a minute ago, shift back in, come around on the neck, shift back out on the other side. Make sure this hand stays in the crook of the elbow. You guys got it? Okay, let's give it a try.
Switch from one to the other. So as we're pushing here, we pull a little bit, we grab the neck. We pull, we push, we grab the arm. We push. Remember, when we get to here, let's say a bottle's here. He grabs a bottle, boom, boom. We go right to level 3, okay? Because we're on the neck, we can afford to do that, all right? So I want to see you go from the arm to the neck, back to the arm. At any given time, if he's giving you a little bit of resistance, like Jack said, boom, you can kill it here. If he's giving you a lot of resistance, well, then you can take it here. All right. we're going to go through the Rapid Assault Tactics program, only this time the guy's going to block. So you're going to actually have to implement this reference point. Remember, the only reason that we are starting here is because this is where you could end up if he does block you. If you're a boxer and all you do is box, you'll never end up here. Therefore, you don't need to ever do this. On the other hand, if you intercept and destroy blows and come in with a center line straight blast, now things are right in the center for him to block. He's got to put here. If he swings at me with the wild shots, bam, and I swing at him, and he swings at me, and we end up clinched, then we're going to end up where? On the ground. On the other hand, if he swings at me and I go boom, and I go right down the center, and then I get something, that's when I need to trap. So if you don't straight blast, you're never going to get that obstruction, okay? And if you don't straight blast, you're not going to force this guy to go backward. And if he's not flailing backward, you have to fight whatever base, balance, strength, timing, speed he has. Remember, when somebody is running backward, they are impotent. The straight blast turns martial artists into pedestrians. Real simple concept. Everybody looks the same running backward. If I flew all over the world, and if I went from school to school, and if I took the best representative of Taekwondo, Kempo Karate, Shotokan, Ishin Ryu, Praying Mantis, whatever, every art you can imagine, and if I had every one of these guys running backward, they'd all look the same. On the other hand, if you had to fight them toe-to-toe, the Ishin Ryu guys might be here, the Shotokan guys might be here, the Taekwondo guys might be here. So you don't know about all these different angles, and you might, catch something that you're not familiar with. On the other hand, if you just, boom, intercept and get them all running backwards, they all look the same. It homogenizes everybody, okay? So it's so important to put this straight blast in. And when you put the blast in, the only two things that are going to happen are, one, you're going to get hit. Or two, he's going to put up a hand. So if he does put up the hand, boom, that's real nice to have a trap. When you feel the energy of the block, trap, pock, and lock. Okay? So watch what Erin does. She comes at me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. All right, what have we not done to complete the program? What have we not done? We're starting at the midpoint, so what have we not done? The entry, the prefix, okay? So let's let the entry be shuffle kick to the balls, boom. And then you come in 1, 2, 3, your traps, your elbow, knees, and headbutts. Okay? Right to right lead. So this knee is what? What's it called? Destruction. All right, ready? Now, we're going to learn when to insert some tools in between this. The attribute that this teaches you is in a fight, there's a window and that closes. And what you're learning is to catch that window when it's open. Okay? So please, again, don't misconstrue this as something you would do against a man with a knife, trying to somehow stop that knife. All right, so when he goes here, boom, it's my first window. When it comes here, boom, it's my second window. So as it comes around, in the eyes, keep the fingers pointed up for safety. When it comes to here, boom. When I come around, boom. When I come around, boom. So we're just going to go eyes. You can go eyes. You can go headbutt. You can go headbutt. Give me a little hoobut too. That's it. Or you can go knee. Or you can go knee. You can do one hand and just feel. All I'm doing is feeling this energy. I just have my eyes shut and I'm reading. Put this hand in, I'm reading the energy. Okay, and then we're going to drop the knife and we're going to go to this, which is the same, more or less, feeling of staying in center line and reading the energy. Okay? Once you learn this neighborhood here, boom, your trapping neighborhood. You know every little nuance of where to go. Okay, and when you have that neighborhood without having to see, okay, you're going to want to get there. That's what it's all about. Now the opponent blocks with the rear hand. Okay, or we implement the rear trap. So we come 1, his hand comes over, we roll, and that's 2. Now both hands are trapped up. Now we can get back to what we were doing. A lot of people look at trapping and they're trying to chase a trap. They're trying to look for a trap. They think trapping is a move that you want to do. It's not a move that you want to do. It means you screwed up, the guy blocked, and now you have a counter for that. It's a backup. It's like your 380. It's a backup. Okay? Question?
Yes. Say that was just like your first strike and he got lucky and put his hand up. Would you be better off leaving the hands trapped or going back to the blast?
Okay, now show me what you mean.
I mean, say I get the hands trapped here,
Yeah.
and this was just my first or second blast here.
Right.
Would I be better off keeping the hands here and going to here or continuing with the blast?
Absolutely, great question, by the way. Absolutely, positively go with the headbutt. It'd be like, should I shoot him in the head or turn the gun and hit him? Okay? Really, there's nothing like a headbutt. And this is level 3 now. Okay, it's a great question. Then you just do it once. We're assuming this guy's having a real great day. First he blocked once, then he blocked twice. His biorhythms are up, okay? If he doesn't block with that hand, I just go boom, and then I just go right in. Yeah. And again, most of the time you don't get this. Most of the time you don't get, but just by virtue of training it, it develops tightness and economy of motion, okay? So that's real important attributes to have. The sport and the art are different. So you might see a sign that says Jeet Kune Do, and then you see them kickboxing. So the moral to the story is you cannot fight close enough where your opponent can hit you and you can hit him. You need to be out in this range. This is why Bruce Lee developed the shuffle. He spent a lot of time developing that shuffle. This is why the first thing we taught you, boom, was to shuffle those to hit the groin. And then you say, well, what if the opponent slowly comes in and encroaches like Joe Frazier trying to cut off the ring? Well, if that happens, bam, that's when we intercept. So as long as you're cognizant of that range being wide and you're safe, when he does come in, boom, you can intercept with something. A thigh kick, a shot to the eyes, a kick to the balls. So, moral to the story, don't stand this close and fight. Stay out here and let all your strikes start from this range. Where he cannot reach me with his longest tool, I can't reach him. Okay? We're going to work on different trajectories of the elbow. Okay? The elbow can come in 3 basic directions from the head. You can come up, you can come horizontal, which is what I've been having you do, or you can come diagonal. Okay? At this point now that you have it, it's important that you see the different angles. I have not covered a lot of boxing with you. Boxing entails that not only we jab cross, that we hook, we uppercut, we overhand. A lot of what is going on? Swinging, okay? And when you're swinging, what aren't you doing? You're not occupying center line and elbowing and kneeing and headbutting. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I want you to know a little about boxing so you can defend against the angles. But with that said, if I teach you too much boxing, and if we sit here and hit focus gloves all day and work hooks and uppercuts and overhands, that's what you're going to do in a fight. And everybody swings. The difference between what we do and what they do is they swing wild and they come in with a plethora of hooks, and we stay right down the center line and grab the neck and come in with elbows. The range that you would hook, okay, or uppercut or overhand is the same range that you would elbow. So when you're right here in boxing range, these are hooks. Trading blows. You see boxers do this all the time. Okay? We don't want to get that mode going. You see, everybody does that naturally. We want to be right here, boom, boom, moving around, keeping this guy off balance, driving this into the groin. So I don't want you to practice something and then do it in the fight unless you're going to do it all the time. Do hooks work? Would Mike Tyson hurt you if he hit you? Yeah, hooks work. But what's the old caveat that would actually absolutely make that happen? The fact that he trains 6 hours a day. Some things that you do take a lot of time to develop. Okay, I have a beautiful art called savate. It's a great art. It's functional. Okay, and it involves some high kicks, even up as high as the solar plexus. They attack the kidney. Okay, would I like to show this to you? Absolutely, I would. But what's realistic? Are you going to practice high kicks 5 hours a day to get savate? When I was training savate, my instructor, Daniel Doobie, back in 1980, we had a ballet bar, and I'm doing these plies, and I'm like, holy, after 3 hours of that, and perfect form, takes a lot to maintain. What I'm doing is I've hacked away at what I consider the unessentials, and the world of pure boxing is an unessential.
What this program provides is a way to bridge the gap between A and Z. The average officer is taught so little that if the altercation were to escalate, this is where the problem would arise. Usually the adrenaline is pumped and the officer either ends up getting shot or shooting somebody. What we want to do is we want to teach each officer how to control their emotions. And to do this, you have to have a training method. This is why we delineate it in 3 levels. Level 1, 2, and 3. Level 3 is what we teach the Navy SEALs. This is the most potent thing you can possibly do. If the officer knows he has that in his hip pocket, he doesn't have to use it. He can keep a cooler head when the time is right.
When you throw the destruction, and then you go right into the blast and all that, which is part of level 3, he asked me, why would you go into a lethal force situation
Right.
when all he did was throw a punch?
Okay, I got your question. Did you understand the nature of the question? Great question. Okay, it is scenario based.
Right.
So the scenario is, scenario 1, you are at a home dispute. You pull up, the husband's beating the wife, you knock on the door, she opens the door, you see the guy, he's yelling at you, he's drunk. They're the only 2 people in the house, okay? He throws a punch at you. Boom. You put your destruction up, and that's level 2, okay? Now, scenario 2, you go to a biker bar. You and your partner, you walk in the bar, there's 35 bikers there, okay? 5 of them are guarding the exit. The other 10 see 2 cops walk in and you're hearing bottles bust over the table and you 2 look at each other like, shit, this is not a good situation. One of them comes up to you and goes, hey, mother, and he throws a punch at you. You 2 are just boom, boom, you gotta move. You destroy it, you bust, you headbutt, and you hit the door. See what I mean? Right. Yeah. Okay? So it's scenario based. If you feel that your life is threatened, okay, you go for it. I am going to be addressing these next 2 days more as teaching you how to teach. You know the curriculum, okay? So I want to hear that you know the answers, and I want to know that you know how to teach this, okay? Because I'm looking out at instructors, not normal police officers, okay? You're going to have to take this information back to your departments and teach it, okay? So, with that said, how many levels of force do we use? What are they? Levels, how many? 3, okay? What constitutes level 1? Somebody raise your hand. Okay? Loud, please. Joint, okay. Okay, not the techniques, but the assailant. Doing what?
Basically, it's just passive resistance. He's not aggressive.
He's passive resistance. He's not aggressive. Okay? He doesn't want to get in the squad car. He doesn't want to get handcuffed. You're at a nightclub. You're asking him to leave the premises, and he's not. Okay? Now, with that said, what are some of the things we do? Joint locks. Okay? What else? Dumog. Okay? What's Dumog? Filipino wrestling, grappling. The body's choke points. That's a real key word when you teach this. Okay? Choke points. There are points on the body that are choke points. When you have a good base, okay, if I just try to get you off the room and I need you over here, it's not going to work. But if I use a choke point here, then I can use you. This is a choke point. This is a choke point. Okay? So the head, the neck, the arm, those are choke points. That's how you move somebody from point A to point B. Okay? So in level 1, we headbutt, knee, and elbow, right? I got some of you nodding. Yeah. Thumb the eyes. Okay. Now, what constitutes level 2? Okay, what is the assailant doing to you? Okay, Gary. He's popping a swing at you. Okay? You're not concerned for your life. Possibly there are pedestrians watching. Okay, you're in a crowded area. Some guy just pulls back and he throws a punch at you. Okay? Under level 2, what do we do? Destructions. Okay? What are we destroying? The limb. Yeah, just like Aaron just got through showing you, if it's a weapon, you smack the limb. Well, the same principle comes. Okay? If it's a punch, you destroy the limb. Now, with that said, what do we use to destroy the punches? Elbows. Okay? Any punches that come in, boom. The elbows are for destructions. What about if he throws a kick at you? Knees. Okay? He hauls back, comes in with some kick. He thinks he's going to kick you in the groin. Boom. You put your knee out. He's incapacitated. Okay? So that's level 2. Now we go to level 3. Level 3, you have to understand, is the same amount of force as if you had to draw your weapon. Okay? So if you're staring at a judge that you just got through headbutting somebody and he's bitching and whining that you broke his face, if I were you, my first answer would be, would you rather me headbutt him or shoot him? Do you understand where we're coming from here? Okay? You need to understand that. Level 3 is the same thing as if you were to pull out your weapon and shoot somebody. You're in a biker bar. You've got 5 guys on you. They've got knives. You need to exit that room. You need to, boom, eye jab, headbutt, and run out the door, call up for backup, whatever. Okay? Eyes, balls. So what is the program that we use, the Navy SEAL program that we use? What is the acronym? RAT. What does it stand for? Rapid Assault Tactics, okay? Rapid Assault Tactics. Most opponents will fight you out of what range? Punching and kicking, okay? So we want to get past that range. What's it called? What's that word? Entry. Entry gets us past that range. What are the 2 favorite tools that we use to get past that range? Eyes and groin, okay? Quick shot to the eyes, quick shot to the groin. The next thing we do, what's it called? Pressure. What does pressure do? That's right. It takes away his 2 most viable attributes, base and balance. And that's the 2 prerequisites that any fighter, martial artist, street fighter needs to hurt you. When they're flopping around backwards because you're punching straight down their center line, they don't have a base, they don't have a balance, okay? Now that they don't have base and balance, what's the 3rd thing that we do? Termination is headbutts, knees, and elbows, okay? Rapid assault tactics. Enter, which is interception or destruction. Pressure, which is a straight blast. Termination, which is headbutts, knees, and elbows.
Since we are law enforcement, we're all wearing guns usually if we go into a bar to break it up or something.
You can
like
pull
that.
your gun.
So, you know, and it may be something that's right. You know, you hit the thing. Was it better to, say you do an eye jab, the guy goes back to pop you with a ball, you know, you see him break the ball, he turns, hit him with the eye jab and then draw, or would you take him off his balance and then disengage then?
You see, you've got your weapon holstered.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's a great question. Great question. Okay? You've got your weapon holstered. Okay? I see a bottle being broke. boom. I go, bam, I don't have time to whoop, boom.
Right.
That takes more time than boom, boom, ba, 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 boom. Okay, you see what I mean? So if you have to go empty hand, this is the best way to go empty hand. Would I prefer you saving your life by busting a cap in his head? Yeah, absolutely I would. This is your life.
Let's go back to your biker bar, where there's more than one person. I can do that with one guy, and that's the fastest way to handle him.
And then,
But while I'm attacking this guy, I've got 3 guys that are just coming from the first table there. Where would it be better to eye poke, disengage, and address the whole bar?
disengage is not going to hurt him.
You're right.
Headbutt is going to take him out. So I just personally think if the guy, let's say the majority of the bar is here, and the guy starts his shit here, and he comes in with something, and I go bam, and give me a little reaction there, okay? Now I start to draw here, he turns and hits me. Boom. All right? So I would rather personally, when he goes boom, 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 and then, okay? Yeah, I want the guy out. But with that said, if he busts a bottle, get back to there, he busts a bottle, I'm going to go, where you going? I'd much rather say, excuse me? You're developing tight motions. These tight motions, even if you never do any trap, whatever the traps are, okay, because there are so many traps that you can do, then when you finally get to this boom, you're going to be tight. So just by virtue of doing it, just like lifting weights gets you stronger, just by virtue of doing traps gets you tighter, okay? So that's why we're doing this. It's important that I explain this to you as thorough as I can.
Good advice.
And Bill came in with the straight blast. He was coming in so fast, couldn't even get the obstruction up for him to take it down.
That is why the Rapid Assault Tactics program works, because you get an interception or a destruction, you come in with a blast, you've inflicted pain prior to it, you can go forward faster than he can go backward, 95 and then some percentage of the time, the guy never blocks. But with that said, it's good to have a backup in case you screw up. Let me relate to jiu-jitsu for a second. In the world of jiu-jitsu, they have arm locks, they have triangles, they have sweeps, they have chokes, and they also have another element called escapes. An escape is how do you get out of a headlock? How do you get out of a full Nelson? How do you get out of a cradle? Well, you're not trying to give the guy your head so he can headlock you so you can then practice your escape. It's not in your game plan. Your game plan is to do your jiu-jitsu, pass the guard, mount, do what you're going to do. And in the process, if you screw up, you should have a backup. So trapping is a backup if you screw up. Most of the time, you're not going to. Most of the time, it's going to work. But if you do screw up, you trap. And then if trapping screws up and you end up on the ground, we have a backup for that called jiu-jitsu. And then if jiu-jitsu screws up, we have like the guy's way better than you, we have a backup for that called kinamutai. So you get a backup, like NASA, well, bad example, but anyway, you know what I mean. You get a backup for a backup for a backup, and that's the way to go. But your first primary objective is the Rapid Assault Tactics program, okay? Intercept, blast, headbutt, knee, and elbow. And then everything else are backups. Okay, let's give me about another 5 minutes, and then we're going to take a 10-minute break. All right, ready? Okay. These are energy drills. This teaches you Okay, so I mean, and all these, that's not rehearsed. That's all feeling, energy. I didn't know what he was going to do. He had no clue what I was going to do. We could take this thing, trapping alone, and go 6 months and not repeat ourselves. Stick fighting, ground fighting, okay? What I have done is extrapolated what I feel is easiest to learn, most effective stuff that we have in 30 years of information and condensed it into a program that works for you. Look at the big picture. This is your backup for this, okay? In a lethal situation when your life is threatened, this is your number one thing. It's like, you know, with the military, the SEALs, you know, their MP5 is their main weapon. They're going to then go to their SIG if they have to. And they're going to then go to their 380 if they have to. Then if they're stuck in bumblefuck Egypt and they're out of bullets and they haven't eaten in 2 weeks and they need to go in a village and snag a chicken and 5 guys come at them because they're ripping off a chicken. I mean, you'd be surprised at scenarios that I get that are not so romantic like these James Bond things. And that's more the situational type things that I deal with. Only very rarely did I work with these guys on specific operations where they had to infiltrate a building and kidnap somebody and do all this real romantic type shit. Most of the stuff is really brass tacks, very basic stuff. All right, we're going to go to level 3. Jack. All right, level 3. We're going to start you off from here, okay? The first thing, boom, is pak sao, okay? From the pak sao, boom, we come into lap sao. Lap sao does what? It traps the hands up, okay? So when the hands are trapped up, boom, boom, that's when we headbutt, elbows or knees, okay? So this is level 3. So I want you all to start here. I will click the stick. I want, boom, I want your first shot. And when I click it again, 1, it'll be 2. Notice the hands are trapped. Normally, if he throws a swing at me, I come in, okay, next swing, bam, and then we're just coming in with a blast, and we're coming in with a headbutt, and we never have to trap up the hand. But on an occasion, he throws that swing, boom, I'm punching, and I get some kind of obstruction. I need to trap the hand to get back to level 3, okay? This is the most important part of the program in my eyes, because this is what I'm concerned with that you have.